Yo, what's up? It's Jason Gator Granado, aka the 135-pound champ. I'm gonna be defending my belt September 9th at FightersRep 19th. Get your tickets now. I'm gonna be fighting another up-and-coming amateur named Isaac De La Paz. If you know, you know. Let's go. I was born and raised here in Redlands, California. For those of you guys who don't know, it's like an hour east of LA. I started fighting for FightersRep April last year, and that was my first ever amateur fight. So I started my career with them in the Lion's Den, you can call it. Just got real active and did, what is this, like 7 events in a row. And I finished every single one of those fights, and this one I believe will be no different. I think I'm just for the people, bro. I'm representing the people from here. I think that's what I portray. I think that's why a lot of people kind of relate to me and they kind of like me and they start following me, or they start getting on the train a little bit and try it out. I know he kind of a lengthier guy like me. I heard he's very sound defensively and whatnot, but I just think, you know, there's not really a defensive technique or a equation to my type of striking, bro. And I let the fights do the talking, and go look me up. I think it's like something you've never seen. I mean, maybe you've seen it on like TV and the big show, but you know, it's something that you've never seen personally. And it's a pace that's just relentless and dangerous, and you can kind of feel the danger in there from the outside. And I just think it's something that you're gonna walk away remembering forever. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, most of the people that watch me fight, or most of my like fans, you can say, they came from FightersRep. So that means that a lot of them still only watch me from when I fight for FightersRep. So to my fans, they haven't really seen me fight since February. So, you know, I don't blame them for wanting to see like what could this guy do? Like, is he really legit? Did he just get fed some, I don't know, did some guy get fed to the wolves with him last fight, or what's he gonna do? But you know, I'm coming in there better than I looked at last fight, because that was 2 fights ago. And you look at the people I've been training with lately in these past few months since that fight, and it's unmatched, bro. And it speaks for itself. It's a better training environment than anywhere. Obviously, this is my home. This is where XFit is my ground. But you know, going out there, I feel very fortunate to get to work with like pros like Chito Vera, pros like Elijah Ozuna, and there's a couple of other amateurs in there that are studs as well, and Coach Perillo, and I'm a sponge. Even when I got in here and I met Cody, like since day one, I've been soaking up information, and I still do that. So now I'm going in there and getting that type of information, and you know, you're gonna see that. I mean, training with those guys, yeah, you can't really beat that confidence. You're going into a fight, and no matter who your opponent is, especially at the level I am, the amateur level, it's like they're not the guys who I'm sparring. They're not those they're not Cheeto. They're not those guys. So it gives me a little more confidence, but I don't take anything away from my opponents. It's fighting. Everybody knows who stepped in there. Fighting is way different than sparring. You could be the most gangster person in the gym, but you won't be the most gangster person in the fight. And you know, that brings a little bit of confidence to me, and me having that dog mentality brings even more to the plate. At first, yeah, I was like, you know, damn, I'm getting pretty matched up pretty good and getting a lot of hype in a good promotion like this. At first, yeah, I was walking around with the biggest cock. But since then, it's kind of given me more confidence now that I have a lot of finishes too. And at this point, it's like the FightersRep is like my home. The Lion Den is my home. Every time I go to George and I go to the Gator Casino, and I go to, you know, and I make that one walk, it just feels like home now. And it just feels like where I belong. It feels like where I compete or perform the best. And that's where people love me the best. And that's where I'm gonna stay. I'm hoping that Isaac can bring me to deep waters. I really want a 5-round fight, man. People don't see, like, they don't know if I could even go past 1 round, because the second rounds are always so short. But my cardio is insane. I could literally sprint at the people like that every single round, and it's nothing to me. You know, I want him to test me and to bring me in there, and so I can show everybody what I could do. And I think he will, because everybody, you know, they're talking about his reach, they're talking about his defense, they're talking about his style and how he likes to keep distance. And you know, if that's all true, then it should be a good fight, and it should be 2 two warriors really just giving every single thing they have in there. And if it's just a hard out decision and maybe it's split, maybe it even goes his way, and I knew I fought my fucking heart out and he just got the better hand, I'm fine with that. But that's not the case though. It's not the case. Hey, shout out my guys fighting on this card. We got CJ, the Afro Warrior Watson, the return. We got Nathan Hawthorne, absolute stud. We just got Ryu and Jerry, who just won this past weekend. You know, we got all the boys in here. Shout out all my boys that are in here every day, sacrificing time from their families, from work. Some of them have fucking kids, so, you know, shout out to them. Shout out my parents for always being supportive, you know, with my gear, with food, everything. Shout out my girl. Shout out Isaac Lawrence, the motherfucking man. And shout out FightersRep for always showing me nothing but love. They have guys come to my fucking gym to give me interviews. Like, I'm barely an amateur, guys. So thanks George, thanks Isaac, thanks everybody at FightersRep, and September 9th, baby.
I'm Isaac De La Paz. I'm fighting Jason Granado, September 9th, FightersRep 19th. See you guys there. I was born in Mexico. I was raised here in the United States, born and raised in Downey. I have an older sister, older brother, and a younger brother. And we've all been doing sports. And this is what we're about. The De La Paz family, we go hard. I started doing sports back when I was like 10. I did football. In high school, I did volleyball. When I was playing football, I was center. I was a chunky boy, so they had me in the middle. I was what held down the fort. I remember my dad would tell me like to go for the runner. Even though I was center, I would leave the center and I'd just start going after the runner. It didn't matter. I was raised with like an older brother and we always played rough. It raised me to be a tough little kid for sure. Yeah, I'm the middle child, you know, the crazy one, the rebel, I guess. When I was young, they used to tell me that the world was gonna end. I remember they would act like I'm a ghost. Man, like my whole childhood, they were just after me, man. I was fighting for my life since I was young, man. I've been fighting for about 3 years. I never did any type of combat sports before, but during COVID, I fell in love with it and I haven't stopped since then. What really got me into it was watching UFC. It looked very professional the way that they had everything. The striking looked very technical. It was just really interesting to see fighting, the chaos kind of be controlled to make it look like art in a way. I was looking for something that filled that chaotic part of me, the part where I wanted action. I wanted something that got me out of my comfort zone. So I did boxing for a week. Then I found this gym, King Cobra MMA, here in Downey, and it was 10 minutes from where I live. I tried it out. COVID hit like a month after I had joined. I was so bored during COVID that I asked my dad if he can get me a bag. And every day I was just, during COVID, I had nothing else to do, so I would just hit the bag. And that's when like it clicked for me. I was like, man, I really enjoy doing this. After COVID, I came right back and I was like, coach, give me a fight, please. I wanna see how I do in a competition, and that's where we went to USMTO. The first day, I fought 3 times for the first time I competed. Won all 3 first day, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, I can't get enough of it. I wasn't content with the way my life was going. I needed something that gave me a reason to wake up. With fighting, it gave me an end goal, and that end goal was to be a world champion.
When you finally decide like that's your dream, that's your goal, and you let your family know, what was their reaction?
When I first started competing, they didn't even know much about it. I would just leave, tell them I'm going to practice, and I would come back sometimes with a black eye, hair all messed up. I think the first time that they saw what I was, working on was at that tournament. It kind of just happened behind everybody's back. I was kind of in my own world fighting over here. But now everybody's in the loop after my first competition, and ever since then they've been supporting me, and I'm so grateful for that, honestly. The first time I competed, it was 4 fights in 1 weekend. Then I had my first competition without shin guards about a month after that. Then a month after that one, I had a title shot I worked so hard for that, and I came out victorious, got myself 2 belts. Probably less than a year into the fighting game, it was a really quick rise. After that one, I had another title shot, and another one after that, and another one after that one. So, I mean, honestly, I've been just having title shots after title shot. It was an interesting start to my fighting career, but I loved every second of it. In FightersRep, I've had 1 fight, and I came out victorious in that one. It was a good fight. It was a 3-rounder, and that was my first competition in FightersRep. The FightersRep promotion is the real deal. The smoke, the replays, the people. I have not been to another promotion so far that holds it as FightersRep does, and I think what they do there is they put on a good show for the people. And when the people reciprocate and the promoter is also supporting their fighters, of course the fighters are going to reciprocate, and we're going to put on a good show for the people. So I think FightersRep is doing an amazing job, and any attention they get is really deserved. What they can expect from me is action, September 9th at the Commerce Casino, and it's going to be the craziest fight in amateur history, honestly. It's going to be an intense fight. Yeah, for sure. I think he has a lot of following. I want to show everybody my skill set. I think it's an awesome opportunity for George to give me the title shot so early into competing into the promotion. There's going to be so many people there watching, and I can show everybody what I'm about. I transform into somebody else when I go into that ring. I can't even tell you who that is because I basically black out in the ring. It's a different Isaac in there. I want to shout out number 1. It's not about me. I mean, of course, it's Jesus. Again, I get to give a shout out to him. King Cobra MMA. They've been supporting me since the start of it. A lot of love from the coach Isaias. A lot of love from the assistant Jess. And from all the fighters in the fight team. You guys already know that I really appreciate you guys. Helps a lot. Also, big shout out to Hung. Big shout out to George. Thank you guys for the matchmaking, and thank you, George, for giving me this opportunity to show everybody my skill set. I really do appreciate it, and all love.